Dan's not going to be easy to reach, but if you can give him the time. He's got as much time as he needs. I'm not after his job. I don't want to fire him. Vets like us carry a special burden. Whether Dan will believe me after the talk we're going to have is debatable. I'm sure he's going to see me pushing him into therapy or forcing him to turn in his resignation. You're the bad cop in this case, Sloane said. You'll be the good cop. Give Dan someone to lean on and talk with. Sloane nodded, her heart turning with pain for Dan. I'm just glad I don't have to break this to him. Mouth twitching, Tal said, It's not something I'm looking forward to either. I'm just handing him more pain. Then, Sloane said quietly, my love for him will have to make up the difference. Dan Malloy was wearing a green apron around his waist as he worked at the kitchen counter when Sloane came home later that day. He turned, giving her a look that made her whole body hum with need of him. Hey, she called, shrugging out of her denim jacket and red knit scarf. That smells good. What are you cooking? She hung her coat in the nearby closet and dropped the scarf over a wooden peg. Figured we could use a New Year's Eve dinner that would reflect our hopes for the coming year, he said. Sloane smiled and sauntered over, sliding her arms around his narrow waist, resting her cheek against his wide, lean back. She inhaled. You smell kinda good to me, she said, moving her hips suggestively against his tight butt. Yeah, he teased, putting the bowl and whisk aside and looping his arms around her. Doesn't what I'm making smell good too? He gave her a wicked look, moving his hands knowingly up and down the back of her Angora sweater. Her flesh tightened beneath his fingers, and she allowed her hips to fall against his, feeling his erection grow beneath the jeans he was wearing. That does smell good. But you know what? What? He growled, sliding his hands over her hips, capturing her cheeks within his large hands, moving his pelvis suggestively against her. Dan watched her lids close as he moved his thigh between her legs, rubbing that sweet area, watching her expression change, her lips part, that happy sound caught in her throat. Don't stop, she gasped, a need for release soaring like an out-of-control fire up and into her needy body. His hands were strong, guiding, and she felt her juices flowing hotly, spilling out of her entrance, the fluid rapidly eaten up by the fabric between her thighs. I have about an hour before I have to finish things up for our dinner tonight, he told her gruffly, watching the pleasure in her face, her cheeks a deep pink, knowing she was so ready to have sex. Dan had never known such powerful need for a woman other than Sloane. She did something to him, and whatever it was, he was glad. Sighing, Sloane barely opened her eyes, the throbbing increasing within her. Dan knew how to hold her and use his strength to firmly bring her down on his thigh with just the right amount of pressure to drag her forward and back slowly, exciting her. I like that idea, Malloy, she whispered. Dessert before dinner. My kind of guy. She gave him a feral look. Dan knew she cherished him, absorbing him through her heart. Dan struggled to understand what she needed and was trying to grasp it because of his feelings toward her. Sloane had told him in Port Sudan when he asked for a second chance with her that she wanted the man who had been there all along, all the time, not just when they shared sex with one another. He promised to try, and he was. But something stopped him from allowing himself to be vulnerable and trusting with her all the time. He knew she could feel that invisible door shut within him emotionally. His main struggle was he hadn't found the key yet to open up on his own. Sloane studied him in the silence. Dan gave her a heated look filled with promise, released her, and took off the apron, dropping it on the counter. Her heart blossomed with yearning, looking forward to this special time and place with him. She ached for him. Dan was tortured by something in his past that he hadn't entrusted her with yet. She desperately wanted to reach him and help him unlock what it was. Her instincts told her it was some childhood trauma. She knew she was right.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.